Is he a superhero or a flawed evil genius, in his father's opinion?
No, he's a superhero. Superhero.
Elon Musk's father, Errol Musk, has revealed some surprising truths about the connection between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. While Elon is known for his innovations with Tesla and SpaceX, his relationship with Trump is far less discussed. On the other hand, Trump's influence on politics is undeniable, but how he fits into Elon's world is still unknown. Could there be a deeper connection between these two powerful figures? Let's dive into what Errol Musk has exposed about their surprising link that will blow your mind. The day Elon met Trump. To really get to the heart of this story, let's step back in time a bit. Errol Musk, like his more famous son, has often been at the center of public attention, not always for the best reasons. Known for his keen intellect, notable career achievements, and quite a dynamic personal life, Errol's escapades have sometimes stolen the spotlight from his other successes. His relationship with his son Elon has been notably bumpy, but despite their ups and downs, Errol knows things about Elon's life that most people don't. Before we dive deeper, it's clear that what Errol Musk is about to reveal is far more shocking than anyone could have anticipated, and this won't be the only revelation that will leave you speechless. One day, Errol decided it was time to open up about something he'd kept quiet for a long time: his son's dealings with Donald Trump. If you know anything about Elon Musk, you'd know he doesn't fit neatly into any political category. He's been seen hanging out with conservative leaders at one point and then criticizing their actions soon after. He's shown some support for democratic policies only to express disappointment later. But Errol's insights suggest a deeper bond, one that traces back to Elon's earlier interactions with Trump. Errol Musk shared that well before Trump became president, there was a significant meeting between Donald Trump and Elon Musk that never got media coverage. According to Errol, back in the early 2010s, when Trump was more of a business mogul than a political leader, he and Elon met at a private event. It was more than just a brief hello, Errol remarked during a recent interview, his eyes reflecting a mix of excitement and concern. Something significant happened that day that shifted how Elon thinks about power and drive. Errol painted a picture of Trump as someone with a natural ability to command a room, not through intellectual prowess, but with overwhelming confidence and a bold demeanor. Errol pointed out that Elon was both drawn to and repelled by Trump's fearless approach. From this encounter, Elon took away a couple of important insights. Trump was a man who could completely disregard the usual rules and still succeed, and this type of power was both risky and exciting. At that time, Trump couldn't have known that Elon Musk was quietly laying the groundwork for an enterprise that would soon rival his own in terms of influence. Both men showcased the ultimate form of ambition, though their motivations differed greatly. Jump ahead to 2016, when Trump won the US presidency. By this point, Elon Musk had already made a name for himself as a top innovator. Well-known, highly influential, and nearing the status of a global household name, Elon had certainly made his mark. And despite their apparent differences, Trump, the outspoken businessman turned politician, and Musk, the more introverted, thoughtful inventor, a surprising alliance briefly formed. Now, let's dig deeper into their backgrounds to understand this better. Errol Musk, born and raised in South Africa, had a zest for life and a knack for engineering that he passed on to his children. His life choices, often bold and controversial, might have shaped the way Elon approaches his ventures, always pushing boundaries and thinking out of the box. Elon's upbringing by such a figure could explain his multifaceted approach to business and life. Not just focusing on one industry, Elon has ventured into space travel, electric cars, and even brain-computer interfaces, areas that require breaking new ground and not being afraid to fail. On the other hand, Donald Trump's path was quite different. Born into a wealthy family in New York City, Trump took over his father's real estate business and expanded it into a vast empire, covering everything from luxury hotels to television shows. His approach has always been marked by a strong presence and a knack for staying in the media spotlight. Their initial meeting, likely filled with discussions on innovation, business strategies, and perhaps the future of technology, set the stage for a complex relationship. While they are two very different people, with Elon preferring to stay out of the limelight and Trump embracing it, their brief collaboration during the early days of Trump's presidency showed that even the most unlikely of partners could find common ground. Now that we know about their meeting, the real impact of it starts to show, and Elon Musk steps into an area he once tried to avoid. Errol shares Trump's plan for Elon Musk. Errol's revelation about their meeting provides a glimpse into the high-stakes world of powerful innovators and businessmen. It reminds us that behind the public personas and vast enterprises, there are personal interactions that can significantly influence decisions, perspectives, and maybe even global policies. So as we consider the implications of such meetings, it's important to remember the broader impact these two figures have on the world. From advancing renewable energy to reshaping U.S. politics, both Elon and Trump have left indelible marks on their respective fields. And as we look ahead, the ongoing influence of such powerful individuals continues to shape not just their legacies, but also the future of innovation and governance globally. Errol shared that during Donald Trump's time as president, his administration reached out to Elon Musk. This wasn't about politics, but more about teaming up on big projects, particularly in space travel and manufacturing. Trump was very keen on boosting America's status in space and saw Elon Musk and his company SpaceX as key players in this goal. Elon was initially hesitant. He did not support many of Trump's policies and was cautious about being too closely linked with the president, known for causing division. However, Errol points out that Elon saw a potential benefit, an opportunity to push his plans forward, to get financial and political support for his vision of humans living in space. You need to understand Elon's mindset, Errol explained. He's not caught up in minor political squabbles. He's focused on big dreams like Mars and the survival of the human race. If working with Trump could help him get closer to these dreams, he was willing to overlook the issues and go ahead with it. Errol stresses that Elon didn't see himself as just a tool in Trump's political agenda. Instead, he viewed Trump as a temporary help to achieve much bigger goals. However, partnerships formed on unstable foundations often don't last, and that was the case with Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Errol had a clear view of everything that happened. Errol observed how Elon began to get increasingly upset with Trump's unpredictable behavior and ego. Though both men were ambitious, they were very different in their styles. Trump loved the spotlight and stirring controversies, whereas Elon was more about focusing on his work and long-term goals. As time went on, their tension grew. Things peaked in 2020 when Musk started openly disagreeing with Trump, particularly on how the COVID-19 pandemic was handled. Elon famously labeled the lockdown measures as fascist in a tweet. At this time, he also began to publicly challenge Trump's leadership, which was unexpected to many considering their previous cooperation. Errol, a sharp observer, believes the breakdown in their relationship was about more than just politics. It was about Elon realizing that Trump was the exact type of leader he wanted to avoid. Elon doesn't like being associated with chaos, Errol commented, and Trump, regardless of his strengths, is a man who thrives on chaos. According to Errol, Elon slowly recognized that Trump's way of leading, while sometimes effective, was too divisive and lacked the long-term perspective needed for someone with Elon's vision of the future. This story of collaboration turned sour is a classic example of how different values and approaches to leadership can clash, even when there's a common goal in sight. Elon Musk, a man with his eyes on the stars, found himself tied to Donald Trump, whose leadership style was marked by immediate gains and personal spotlight. Their story underscores the complexities of partnerships in high-stakes environments like politics and space exploration. where big personalities and even bigger ambitions can sometimes collide. For Elon, the partnership was a strategic move, but it became clear that aligning with Trump could harm his broader ambitions and personal reputation in the long run. This narrative also sheds light on Elon Musk as a person who, despite his immense success and public persona, grapples with decisions that align his business objectives with his personal values. It's a reminder that behind every business decision, there's a personal element, especially when it comes to leaders who are as publicly recognized as Elon Musk. As their teamwork begins to fall apart, the differences between Elon's long-term plans and Trump's short-term goals become too big to ignore, leading to a major change: the break between Elon and Trump. In the grand scheme of things, this episode between Elon Musk and Donald Trump is a telling tale of how business and politics can intertwine, creating both opportunities and challenges. It highlights the importance of understanding that every partnership carries potential risks, especially when it involves complex figures like Musk and Trump. As we look at Elon's decision-making process, it's clear that his ultimate focus is on the bigger picture: advancing human potential and survival. His willingness to initially work with Trump illustrates a pragmatic side, willing to use whatever resources available to advance his vision, despite potential personal misgivings about the partnerships. The unraveling of their cooperation also serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of aligning not just business goals, but also leadership styles and ethical approaches. For entrepreneurs and leaders everywhere, this story is a potent reminder of the need for careful consideration when entering into partnerships, especially with figures who have a strong personal brand and political influence. Ultimately, Elon Musk's experience with Donald Trump reflects the delicate balance required in business partnerships, where personal values, long-term visions, and the realities of power dynamics play critical roles. It's a narrative that resonates beyond the tech and political worlds, speaking to anyone who must navigate the complex interplay of collaboration and competition. What's the real deal between Elon Musk and Donald Trump? According to Errol Musk, Elon's dad, their relationship was complicated right from the start. Elon was pretty impressed by Trump's boldness and his readiness to challenge the usual ways of doing things, but he wasn't entirely comfortable with Trump's style or ideas. Their short-lived partnership sprang from shared interests, yet it fell apart quickly as their goals moved in different directions. Errol's eye-opening statements don't paint Elon as a die-hard opponent or a fan of Trump. Instead, he shows Elon as a practical thinker, a man who is open to working with nearly anyone if it helps push his ultimate dream of moving humans to Mars. However, Errol also points out that Elon has his limits. In the end, Trump's unpredictable and chaotic leadership style was just too much for Elon. Years after Trump's presidency, Elon Musk's interactions with the political realm are still as complex as ever. Elon isn't shy about sharing his political thoughts, whether he's tweeting about freedom of speech or criticizing government policies he disagrees with. Errol Musk's revelations reveal that Elon is not the type to be easily labeled politically. Errol thinks that his son has picked up some crucial lessons from his time dealing with Trump, like insights into power, leadership, and the dangers of getting too close to political figures. Elon doesn't like to be controlled, Errol said, with a knowing smile. And Trump tries to control everyone around him. That approach was never going to work with Elon. Despite their disagreements, Errol admits that it's kind of funny that Elon Musk and Donald Trump are often compared. Both are viewed as disruptors, both have their own large groups of followers, and both know how to stay in the news. But as Errol's stories make clear, their goals and methods are very different. The story of Elon Musk and Donald Trump is essentially a tale of two very influential people. One is all about the future, pushing the boundaries of what humanity can achieve. The other focuses on the present, twisting the rules of politics and media to his advantage. Errol Musk's revealing accounts offer a new look at the complex interactions between these two powerful figures, showing us that even in the world of billionaires and world leaders, personal motives and relationships are as messy and complicated as they are for anyone else. As for Elon Musk, his story is nowhere near finished, and his relationship with power, whether with political leaders like Trump or through the tech empires he's building, will continue to evolve. Thanks to Errol Musk, we now have a clearer view of the forces that have shaped Elon's thinking so far. One thing is clear: the story of Elon Musk and Donald Trump is a lot more interesting and complex than you might think. And in the end, the only person who really knows where Elon's story will head next is Elon himself. The end of their partnership gives us a clearer look at how Elon thinks, showing us how his time dealing with power continues to shape his ideas for the future. How Elon left Trump's shadow. Elon Musk, born and raised in South Africa, has always been a thinker and a dreamer. From a young age, he was interested in technology and the possibilities it could bring. His path took him from Pretoria to the United States, where he would eventually become one of the most influential tech entrepreneurs in history, founding companies like SpaceX, Tesla, and Neuralink. Donald Trump, on the other hand, took a different path. Born into a wealthy family in New York City, Trump took over his father's real estate business and expanded it into a global empire. He became a well-known public figure, famous for his real estate ventures, his role in the television show The Apprentice, and his unique style of leadership. Despite their very different backgrounds and paths to power, both men have made their mark on the world stage. Elon with his forward-thinking innovations in technology and space, and Trump with his unorthodox approach to business and politics. Their interactions, although limited, have been closely watched and widely discussed. The nature of their relationship, as described by Errol Musk, suggests a dynamic that is reflective of their personalities. Elon, the innovator, is always looking forward, always pushing the boundaries of what is possible. Trump, the dealmaker, focuses on leveraging every situation to his advantage, often in a very public and controversial manner. Their brief collaboration, born from a convergence of interests, underscores the complexities of relationships in the upper echelons of power. It also highlights the challenges that come with aligning such distinct personalities and agendas. Elon's reservations about Trump's methods and Trump's attempts to exert control were bound to lead to a parting of ways, given their fundamentally different approaches to leadership and problem-solving. Errol Musk's reflections on how his son Elon thinks and interacts with people like Donald Trump give us a real insight into Elon's personal and professional world. Errol describes Elon as someone who deeply values being able to think freely and come up with new ideas, much more than sticking to old ways or being under someone else's control. This way of seeing things helps us get why Elon might find Trump's controlling manner a bit too much and why he might want to keep some distance. From Errol's point of view, Elon prefers environments where he can explore and innovate without constraints. He's not one to follow the traditional paths or bow to authoritative styles, which often makes him clash with more conventional leaders like Trump. Elon's approach is to question the norms and look for new possibilities, which can be unsettling for those who thrive on control and established methods. As we think about what lies ahead for Elon Musk, it's clear that he's not done making his mark. His passion for pushing the limits in technology and space means he's always looking for the next big challenge. Whether it's launching the next generation of electric vehicles at Tesla or planning the next mission to Mars with SpaceX, Elon's forward-thinking approach keeps him at the forefront of global innovation. His interactions, even with controversial political figures, are just small parts of a much bigger narrative filled with dreams, challenges, and breakthroughs. Elon's knack for staying relevant in both technology and politics shows a rare combination of creativity, practical thinking, and toughness. The world is keenly watching his every move, eager to see how he blends the insights gained from past experiences with his futuristic ambitions. The experiences he has had with various leaders, like Trump, are especially valuable as they give him a diverse perspective on handling power dynamics and navigating the complex world of global politics. Elon Musk's ongoing relationship with power, shown in his dealings with people like Donald Trump, has caught the attention of many. As we look to what the future holds, it's certain that Elon's path will continue to be an important part of the larger story of our era. What he chooses to do next will undoubtedly shape not just his future, but potentially the future of technology and space exploration as well. Could the connection between Elon Musk and Donald Trump be purely coincidental? Or is there a deeper story Errol Musk is hinting at? Is there more to this relationship than meets the eye? Tell us what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.